Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Kandypens Aura dab of the day. Today is Thursday. Hello, everybody. I'm still here. I want to talk about humility today. That's right, humility. Being humble. What are the benefits, do you think, of being humble? Some of you will look at me and say, there are none. But I want to talk about it because humility is considered by many, by psychiatrists, psychologists, college professors, it is considered to be a virtue. What do you think of that? So you're virtuous. But, and like many virtues, it's often easier to see what's good about dealing with a humble person, but it's more difficult to see what's helpful about being humble yourself. So it's a really conundrum situation for a lot of people who are humble. When you're humble and you don't think about it, you try not to be humble. You actually, in many cases, think humility is bad, and you got to fight your way out of it and be that alpha person in the room, the loudest person in the room. But true humility, humbleness, is motivated by selflessness, not by trying to get on top of the pack. But, and you'd say this is not the case, but it brings with it the humility, the habit of humility. Mental, emotional, and social benefits for the person who's humble, not the person who's the alpha. What do you think about that? Now, isn't that the opposite of what you think? Forget about the meek inheriting the earth and all that, the sayings. Wouldn't you have thought that the humble person might have been walked all over and blah, blah, blah? Not necessarily. Think about the cobra who lays quietly. That humble cobra is just laying there and then, and that's what happens. So, humility, really, if you embrace a humble outlook, an attitude towards life, what it's going to do is really open you up, and I would call almost free you from your stress and your quest and your need for the significance, for the unrealistic amount of importance, success, fame, or power that you're looking for. Think about it. I did this. I went for those things. That was how you were graded. Can you have more importance? Can you have more success? Can you have more fame? Can you have more power? Humility really means learning to value yourself. Think about it. In a way that isn't dependent on outperforming other people. You be the best or one of the best at things you do. Okay? That's the goal. You got to learn to not think of that as the goal anymore. You got to learn that humility isn't frustration. Most people who don't achieve those things, if they're looking for those things, become very frustrated in their life. And they say they failed or they're not significant people. And psychiatrists agree on that too. So if you're not looking at this right and you're humble, you feel like you failed. That's the opposite of the truth. Humility is a win. Humility is the boss. Humility's in charge. Because what happens, think about it. How many people out there can you point to that you know that have achieved everything they want to get, have the things they need and want, live the lives of joy and pleasantness? Not many people, okay? Maybe Bezos. My point is, we have a system in America of elitism. This is not politics talk. Elitism and rankism, which means that only a select few people that we have in our world near us get to what they want, achieve their aspirations. Everyone else, and I mean this sincerely, everyone else scrambles around trying to take a piece of this and a piece of that. Maybe I can get this, maybe I can be that. I really want to win, but maybe I can get right below the line of winning. Everybody's doing that. Oh my God. So, what if they could develop humility? Which, on the other hand, would allow you to feel okay with yourself as somebody who's ordinary. Hold on. Or average. Wait. Rather than feeling that you're only a worthwhile person if you make the cut for the elitist or the ranked people. Think about that. Well, guess what? I'm doubting that anybody I'm talking to is an elitist or a ranked person. I hope, but I doubt. We're all regular people. Everyone, including those people. But you know what? So many times in our world, in our schools, in our homes, in our families, in our societies, in our places of religious worship, we're told to win. And we're told to be on top. And we're told to not even look out for the other guy, but let's keep our nose to the grind, those types of things. So humility has plenty of social benefits that you don't even think about. Remember, a lot of people think they fail. You're not failing. Having the ability to be humble comes with tremendous benefits. This is important because, and this is true, humble people perform certain ways in social groups, and the performance is looked at a certain way by those groups. Okay? And humble people ultimately are valued and are more effective leaders even in our society. Think about this, because they behave with generosity, they behave with selflessness, and they behave with true altruism. That is the definition of a real humble person. Okay? Now, can you think of one out there? Can you think of many out there? I don't know. Everyone's individual. You have all your own worlds. Humility is something that you have to cultivate, unfortunately, because you have to begin to realize and peel away the layers of what we've been trained, that the impervious nature of what you want to be. That's not what you want to be. Not. You want to be honest and have an accurate sense of what is and have truth in your life. Well, guess what it brings you? It brings you to humility. Because humility gives you learning and growth. If I wasn't a humble person, I am a humble person. I've been humbled by many, and that's the thing that happened to me. I didn't grow humble. I became humbled. I was humbled. I was humbled by my physical situation. I was humbled by my emotional situation, and I was brought to my knees. Okay? And I'm hanging on by a thread. I'm hanging on with my fingernails on the side of the window, pulling myself in. I think I might have my arms in the window. I'm hanging on. Many of us are like that. And it's okay. And you know what? Arrogance, which is the opposite of humility, arrogance, okay, is the person who has filled his quiver of everything he can think of. And there's no room for anything more. And guess what's going to come? The thing he needed. And he's not going to have room for it, because he was too busy gathering everything up along the way, filling his quiver, weighted down, no space. The one thing he needed, can't get. The humble person, the people that were learning to live their lives, okay, wasn't empty, but they were open. They were open to other things. What humility does for people, humility makes people into real people. The other stuff makes you into something you think you want to be. Humility, as I said before, is totally altruistic, okay? Humility is a style of living and a style of life, humble style of life. The Pope is humble. He's humble, but he's so respected. He's humble. I'm using that as an example because I know that his philosophy is one of humility, to stay humble. And you know why? He's not an elitist. He's not a rankist. He's not looking for that. He's the Pope. What about our lives? How are we going to find a way to strip away the need to be the alpha male, the alpha female, the alpha person in the room, and say to ourselves that a little humility can go a long way? And that's really the end of the story here. I've pounded hard on what it means. It doesn't mean anything unless we figure out a way to use it. And how do you use humility? Humility will come to you. You just have to accept it and not slam it down and say, I'm not going to be humble. You'll have the opportunity in life to be humble. Most people who have the opportunity in life to be humble run right over it with a steamroller to try to be the alpha male. They see people around them that are humble and try to step on them to make their situations better. We need to reverse that, not even think about that. And we need to look at it that there's opportunity. You're on the Ferris wheel. You live the circular life if you're talking to me. And that gives you two things when you come across the top again: hope and opportunity. So if you haven't had a humble life up to now, that's okay too. Guess what you have? You have opportunity to be humble. If you don't know what it is, if you don't know what it feels like, try it. Try being second at something if you're always first. Try not knowing the answer, even if you do. Try not having the advice for the next person, even if it's just welling up inside of you. Try to let it come to you. Humility, really important thing in life. Not enough people are humble or understand what true humility is. You don't have to go through a bad thing to have humility. You have to go through life and understand it. This is the Real Senior Stoner. I hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you did, please subscribe. Send me your comments. I love to hear them. Let's take our dab. This is Gravy Train by Meowie Jane. Wonderful taste for the day. Hope you enjoyed. Once again, the Real Senior Stoner signing out. Have a great day, everybody. And remember, humility's good. Cheers.